Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys coming by the channel, spending some time with me today. Guys, we're going to talk today. I got a subscriber comment. Actually, it was this morning. It was probably the most profound comment I have ever got by a subscriber ever. And you guys hear me talk occasionally about some subscriber comments I get. And when he sent this, I just like, man, that says volume. So we're going to talk about what that comment was and be curious to get your guys' opinion on it. Also, guys, for get started, just a couple of quick housekeeping tips, dreaded housekeeping tips. You guys, some of you guys probably fast forward through. I just want to thank you guys very much, everybody that's taken time to subscribe here to Intuitive Angling, and thank you very much for everybody that used all the links that I put in the description, like my solar bat and my tackle warehouse links to purchase your fishing equipment. You guys are really helping the channel out, and a big thank you from me and my family if you're one of those people that are doing that. Okay, guys, what I got, this comment that I got yesterday, you may have seen it if you've seen some of my social media, because it was on my social media. This subscriber was talking about that he had been playing the Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing, since it started, and he had been averaging, like a 96% success rate in it. So he has a very good feel for, how different anglers perform on different bodies of water. And over the past 2 seasons, in the advent and the era of spotlighting, he's only averaging 48%. And when I heard that, it's like, that to me, that if that doesn't prove what is going on, nothing does. Here's somebody out there that had a feel for people, that had an understanding for different type of seasonal movements and patterns and strengths and versatility, things that really define a true bass angler. And the fact that he was averaging 96% and that got cut down to 40-some% in the advent of spotlighting for bass, that is a sad state of affairs. And one of the things I want to say about this is, and I had another comment from a subscriber said the same thing, is professional bass fishing is turning into nothing but a joke. It really is. And I hate to say that because I love the sport. I've been in it forever. And what has happened the last 2 years with our sport, just what he was saying about his fantasy fishing success got cut in half through forward-facing sonar. What are we doing? I mean, what the heck are we doing to the sport? Because here's the thing about it. It's like bass fishing, when he was averaging, 96%, it's like he was able to determine that and pick that because people, in order to be successful in the tournament realm forever, up until the past 18 months in the sport, you had to have a combination of strength and versatility. You had to be good at flipping and pitching. You had to be good at throwing a swim bait. You had to be able to crank. You had to be able to throw a topwater. You had to be able to chatterbait. You had to be able to pick up a drop shot or a shaky head or a wacky rig. You had to have this repertoire of versatility as an angler in order to be successful over the long term. And every single angler out there that was successful and made a career in the sport and dominated the sport or won tournaments to whatever extent, they had to have that versatility or the strength in order to excel once those conditions got there. Because in the past, tournament fishing was, you went to a tournament, it's like you looked at the schedule and you analyze that schedule and you say, based upon the water temperature, the time of year, water, levels, all that type of stuff, it's going to be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever technique's going to work there. It's not like that anymore, guys. All it is now it's like, okay, I don't care what's going on. I don't care if it's January or August or September. I'm going to go there and I'm going to turn on my spotlight and I'm going to just roam around out in the middle of nowhere with my forward-facing minnow and my weenie worms and maybe a jerkbait or a tiny little swim bait. And I'm going to video game fish for fish. I don't need to know seasonal patterns. I don't need to know how to flip and pitch. I don't need to know, how to throw a spinnerbait. I don't need a chatterbait. All I need is my forward-facing sonar minnow. It's literally turned the sport into a joke, and it's an insult to every person out there that has dedicated their life to developing their fishing as an art form, the art form of understanding the nuances behind fishing and the techniques and the approaches that are required under a diversity of different water conditions out there. Another reason it's a joke is the whole fact that how we have turned the sport, and I've talked about this before, but it's got to be repeated because every single tournament you see this over and over again, and you can't say it one time and then just forget about it and move on like it doesn't exist. we have turned the sport into a true elitist sport. We've got bass boats now that are $150,000, $160,000 for a dang bass boat. Where you're paying $5,000 for entry fees. You got guys driving $100,000 trucks. Where are people getting this money at? Back when I started out, everybody out there usually drove a truck that was 10 or 15 years old. Most of us had used bass boats. We were paying $600 for entry fees. Most of us had other jobs we had to go back and work between the tournaments in order to pay for the tournaments. And now the tournament, it's turned into nothing but a bunch of trust fund babies, parents or families supporting the anglers or subsidizing them, where they did not have to go through those same struggles it's these struggles that it's almost like it builds integrity and it builds character for you have to go through that, paying your dues for that. And one of the greatest things that I like to see in the sport is you get somebody out there that has worked for decades and decades and decades and struggled and sacrificed and, did everything they could to stay out there on the circuit. And then they acquire success through decades of hard work. This whole thing about people out there now that have been bass fishing for 2 or 3 years and come out here and dominate the tournaments, that is just an insult to the sport. It's an insult to everybody that came before them by, how we've made it so easy for people to do that. Because literally, it's like you can go down to Walmart tonight and you can pick some guy out there that is roaming through the sporting goods department looking for bobbers and earthworms that has never caught a bass in their life. Some guy could educate them and spend 2 or 3 months taking them out there and learn how to spotlight for bass. They could probably go out there and win a Bassmaster tournament, just as a result of that. It's literally become a joke. I'm ashamed of what the tournaments organizations are allowing the sport to be, and you should be too, because it's like it'd be like this. It'd be something like that. It'd be like say a professional golfer out there that started golf when they were 7 years old and they finally got on the PGA Tour when they were in their 20s and they spent decades learning the craft. And then maybe some guy out there that's never golfed in his life, but he's got some piece of, advanced technology that virtual reality he can put on his, face that allows him to make the perfect swing every single time without not knowing anything about golf. That's what it is. There's an increasing number of anglers out there that don't know anything about bass fishing, and they would starve to death without that dang spotlight. I guarantee it. If you took spotlights off of everybody's boat right now, all of the dudes out there that are dominating right now that have been for the last 2 years, you would see them at the very bottom of the list for the rest of their career out there unless they actually learned how to reel bass fish. So anyway, I'm sort of on a little rant this weekend about it after what's going on at Lake Murray down here. Absolutely disgusting what we're seeing going on down there. You should be disgusted too. It's time for us to take our sport back, man. It is. Our sport is out of control. Like I said, and like my subscriber said, it's turned into nothing but a joke. I've never seen as many disgruntled bass fishermen in the sport that I have right now. I mean, the last year and a half for what's going on. So anyway, guys, keep fighting the good fight. I'll keep fighting the good fight. Let's have each other's back, and let's turn this thing around and save the sport before it's too late. So we'll talk later.